Well, a UK parliamentary report says Syrian refugees are not receiving adequate support as they resettle in their new country. The Conservative government pledged to take in 20,000 refugees from the war-torn country by 2020. But local councils have warned they're not being given enough resources to support the new arrivals. The MP's report also says survivors of torture and violence have not received necessary specialist help. Well, for more, let's cross live now to Sara Firth, who can join us from London. Hi, Sara. How dramatic are these shortcomings here in providing for these refugees? Is it just a matter of money, or are the problems far greater?
Well, the report's raising some questions about the effectiveness of the UK's resettlement programme for Syrian refugees. Remember, Britain isn't a part of the EU resettlement scheme. They've got their own programme in place. This was a pledge made back in 2015 that said that by 2020, Britain will have resettled some 20,000 Syrian refugees, the most vulnerable, from camps in and around Syria. Now, what the report is looking at is some of the issues with delivering this. It has said that there has been encouraging progress made, but that to meet that pledge and hit that 20,000 target by 2020 will face some significant challenges. Now, some of the main problems that the report identified, it says, is the fact that local authorities are confused as to the full extent of the support that they're supposed to provide. And the report is also looking at the support that's being provided to survivors of torture. And it says that there's some 1,000 Syrian refugees that have arrived that are survivors of torture. Only a handful of those have actually received any kind of specialist support. And so what the review is calling for in that area in particular is a full review of the support that's being provided to those survivors of torture.
And then what kind of concrete recommendations has this report made, if any? And is the government likely to take action according to those recommendations?
Well, the report does make a number of recommendations that they want to see the government carrying out, in particular, as I said, with the local authorities, providing more clarity over exactly what is expected and required of the local authorities. I spoke to the Home Office this morning about this report. They've said that they remain on target to meet that 20,000 pledge by the end, they said, of this Parliament. They also said that they've resettled some 4,400 Syrian refugees so far. But they are going to be looking very closely at the recommendations this report has made, and they'll be responding to those, the Home Office said, in due course. But I've also spoken to some aid agencies this morning. They're going to be looking at this report very closely because the UK has already faced some criticism over the fact it hasn't signed up to that EU resettlement programme. And so the fact that even the resettlement programme that Britain has in place now has some significant challenges facing it is going to be raising some pretty serious questions.
Okay. Sara Firth joining us there from London. Thanks so much for that.